Let's go. Good morning. Welcome back to the pod, and welcome to the first episode of Sky Variety.
I like it. That's a good Sky Variety.
Okay. Can I get credit for that?
You can. You just TM.
TM. Today's guest is Sky Corban, very good friend of mine. We've become very good friends over the very short period of time. A little bit of context. Sky does a little bit of everything.
Yeah, sadly. It's a problem.
And on my Instagram story the other day, I said, who within or around Georgia should I bring on to the pod? And an overwhelming number of people said, Sky Corban, Sky Corban, Sky Corban, Sky Corban, Sky Corban, Sky Corban, Sky Corban.
I am amazing.
So I reached out to you and I said, hey, why don't you come on the show?
Yep.
And you drove 6 hours to get here.
I did, yeah.
Awesome. Amazing.
I like to travel. It's easy. So it's peace.
So if I had to categorize you as one thing and said you are, I've been trying to figure out how to label you because we love to label people.
Yes.
And I've been trying to label you and I'm struggling to do it because you do political commentary. You do sketches, which are hilarious, and we'll watch a few of them today and we'll react to them. You are also a songwriter and musician, and I found your old YouTube channel.
Oh, gross. Yeah,
of you singing in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah. It's better acoustics.
So for the audience who are not familiar, who may not be familiar, because I'm assuming a lot of the Sky Corban army are here today, and they're like, shut up, Matt, let's move on. For the people that don't know, why don't you introduce yourself?
I am Sky Corban, and as of now, I'm more of like a cultural commentator, more than anything. Heartthrob is what. Just a cultural commentator, basically right now. Musician set the hook when I was younger. Also played sports, but also a nerd. Big nerd. I went to school for computer science. A lot of people don't know that, so I'm super computer nerd. But I prefer just talking about social issues because our culture, I think, changes everything else. I don't think politics changes culture. I think culture changes politics because politics will sell their soul for anything.
So you do mostly your content is on Instagram.
It is.
Before we kind of get into the content, I just want to get a feel of who you are and get to know you a little bit. And maybe people who consume your content and watch you regularly, maybe they don't have a background. You were a songwriter.
I was for like forever.
Really?
Yep.
You wrote, we're not going to call anyone out, but you wrote some big songs for big people.
I wrote songs for some publishing companies in Nashville. Kind of right after college, I got kind of lucky. That's how it all starts with everything. Just it's not what you know, it's who you know. But when you find the one you need to know, you better know something. Is what I like to say. So it panned out in my favor. And then wrote for publishing companies for probably 5 years, but then independently for people, and played guitar for a lot of artists too on tour. So that helped.
Why did you stop doing
COVID.
that? Really?
Nothing happened in Nashville. There was nothing there. And so I kind of wanted out of music because music is so reliant on no matter how hard I work, it always depends on someone else's opinion of yes or no. I wanted something, the harder I worked, the more I reaped the rewards. It's not like that in music. It really just, no matter what you put in, it just depends on someone else's opinion about whether they like it or not. So I wanted out of that atmosphere so I could put in the grind. I opened up a supplement company, like brick and mortar. And then COVID took off even worse. It was terrible. I was like, I'm a business owner. And then I'm like, oh no, I'm a business owner. But we made it through. School shut down, and so we were right next to campus in Kentucky at UK, and so that hurt pretty bad because that was a primary demographic, and so ended up doing it for 3 years, and I wanted out just because I was there 70 hours a week, just working every single day. It was just me. Couldn't really afford employees. I could make enough to pay my bills, but I said, I'm going to start doing some Instagram stuff, and that took off. And I was like, well, I can just sell my stuff online through that and not have overhead. So why don't I have more of a reach with Instagram than I do just in Lexington? And it was a better decision for me.
quick question, because I'm watching you talk and I'm looking at you, and I don't know the answer, so I'm curious. Because you look like a white guy,
Yeah.
but you have like small eyes like me.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's not all there. I'm just curious.
I get a lot. I like to portray myself as a white guy because it helps. It helps, but I'm not fully white. So my dad is Indian, Native American Indian.
Okay.
American Indian, and my mom is English Irish with a little bit of Native American too. So
does that mean you qualify for all the perks?
I do.
Of being,
yeah.
I don't know what they are, but I know that there are some that exist.
It's crazy because I stole my own land. I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to be mad at myself. I don't know. It's a house divided.
What is that like growing up? I guess it's hard to meet like actual people that are of Native American heritage. It's not something common. And I'm going to say most people watching or listening, they may have heard or known of one other than being on maybe an Indian reservation casino.
Right.
What is that like?
My sister actually teaches on a reservation.
Really?
And my dad made this. Like he makes a lot of Native American artifacts, and he will make a full headdress and everything. So he has a room that's just literally bones and skin. So it's pretty unique in that regard. You don't get that in normal households, but people will give him random things. Like they gave him a polar bear claw, like not a claw, like the whole paw. And so he cut out the claws and made necklaces out of them. So
is that what that is? That's a polar bear claw.
It's huge. It's enormous.
Don't want to get hit by one of those.
But it's really cool because I try to hide it the best I can in the Instagram sphere because it's just like I like to be attacked for being white a lot. So
it's more fun to be the white supremacist.
Oh yeah, they definitely call me on it. A lot of them, like I get called a white supremacist by light-skinned black people that are lighter than me. And I'm like, wait a minute, how does this work? He's like, I'm not a white supremacist.
In all fairness,
I'm half a white supremacist.
In all fairness, I get it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a white supremacist
I
too?
am too.
Wow.
Definitely.
That's cool.
I get it all the time, which is just bizarre because, like some people look kind of white and maybe kind of Asian or whatever else. I look like an Asian guy.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
I didn't question it.
No, there's no go, maybe he's not.
Even in your videos, it comes across very Asian. It's like, let's talk about like, if you keep digging, the signs will point in the right direction. I'm like, yeah, that guy's Asian.
There is no doubt. But yet I get flooded with people, oh, you're one of them. Or the one that really kicks me is, they will never accept you. I get that a lot too. And that, when I hear that, I'm like, damn, like who hurt you?
Is it really about acceptance?
Yeah,
like,
why are you so mad?
Right. Who cares? Who cares about acceptance anyway at this point?
You do what you want to do, think how you want to think, live your life how you want to live your life. And if you're so worried about how people label you.
Tribalism these days is insane.
Yeah.
And now everything's white supremacy. Like if you have, that's what I don't understand about the whole, what happened to nationalities? Like what happened to, instead of race, what happened to nationalities? Because that's important. Like if you're from Scandinavia and you come here and you're here for 2 years, now you're a white supremacist, you have no idea what's going on. So what happened to that?
Me and my household, because my family is from Korea and my wife is from Korea, and we teach and speak to our daughter in Korean. We eat Korean food, and we try to adhere to as many Korean traditions as possible. It's just something that we've decided we want to do. I've always embraced, and nothing I've ever been shy about. Actually, I put up a little 15-second clip on Instagram of my daughter's traditional Korean first birthday. It's got 6-7 million views, which is crazy. So I love that part. And for people to think you have to be one way or the other, I don't understand. Why can't you embrace where you're from, who you are, what the cultures are that made you, that guided you? At the same time, you live here, you pay your taxes here, you love this country, I love this country. I was born and raised here, and I consider myself an American. So what's wrong with embracing both?
It's like you can. That's the key, is embracing. It doesn't have to be celebrated, and it doesn't have to be demonized. It just needs to be. And that's where people have lost it. It's like, I don't have to celebrate and showboat where I'm from. I can just accept who I am and be happy with that. Pride becomes a terrible word sometimes when it's pushed upon people. But if you just embrace it, like you said, that's a better way to say it. We should embrace our heritage. We should embrace who we are as people, and do what you want to do without interfering with other people's lives.
I remember when I was.
But do you like Korean food? Is that like your favorite food?
Oh, that's my favorite food.
Really? By far?
I eat Korean food maybe 5 days a week.
Mm-hmm. If you had to choose a second origin, what would that be?
Italian food.
Oh, okay.
Well, other than like meat and potatoes, because like a steak and like mashed potatoes or steak and a baked potato is the best. But there are so many ways to do that.
Right.
In every single culture.
Yeah, I think every origin has a steak and potatoes type.
Yeah. I love Italian food. I like Mexican food. I like
all of them too.
I like all food. I like halal food. I like Indian food. I like pretty much. I'm willing to try anything, at least food wise. I am a very non-picky eater, so
Same.
I'll try anything.
I love food.
Before I love it.
Yeah.
So I remember when I think it was the 92 Olympics, and it was during Dream Team.
Yeah.
And I was very young, and I went running into my parents' room because I just got done watching the basketball game. And I ran in there and I said, "We won, we won, we won." And my parents like, "There is no way Korea won a basketball game." And then they realized.
Then they realized you were a white supremacist.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what it was.
They're like, huh, didn't see that one coming.
Right.
And then they're like, well, I guess we did.
Mm-hmm.
But at first, like, there's no way Korea won.
Korea's not beating the Dream Team.
There's not winning a game. It took them a while, but they realized. So I think that's just how I perceive the world.
Has Korea ever had an NBA player?
Yes. I believe 1 or 2.
It's not many.
No, not many. Not many. And I don't know if there were any good.
Right.
No, I'm going to say no.
None?
No,
I think there was one.
I think there was.
I think
one
there was
too.
at least one. Maybe you can. No, don't look it up. It's not
Right.
that important. But and if you want to reference anything, you can always ask Will. You know how Joe Rogan has Jamie? I have Will.
Yeah, so we can say, Will, are there Korean NBA
Yeah,
players?
you can look it up. Although I don't think it's something that's that important to look
Right.
up.
Right. You don't want to be wrong.
So I don't care if I'm wrong. No
funny.
disrespect to
That's
the
funny.
Korean ballers.
No.
But yeah, no one cares.
Right.
Okay, so you were in music, and then you decided you're going to get into social commentary.
I did.
It's a very big jump because in music, and especially in the type of music that you did, you're almost not allowed to have a social opinion.
Not at all.
Let's start there. What is that like? Not be
So-
able to say what you want.
Right. And well, that's tough for me because I say what I mean. Everybody knew it with me regardless, no matter where I am. They know where I stand. That's why I like you too. You're pretty blunt, pretty stern. You're a lot calmer than me. But yeah, it's tough in the entertainment business because I know so many people who are conservative and can't even mention it and fear. Now, if they did the right thing, if they thought outside the box, that's the trend is to be conservative if you want to make it. Like if you think about all the stuff that's number one, it's conservative based. So it would be a smarter decision, but I guess people are just afraid in the long run when the pendulum swings. But take it when you can. Like if the cool thing is to be conservative now and you're in music and that's your goal and you don't really care about politics, fake it.
I mean, being conservative is now the new punk rock,
It is.
right?
Mhm.
And I see it especially amongst the younger generation in between 16 and 20 years old, where if you want to go against the grain, if you want to rage against the machine, if you want to be a rebel, be a conservative. And it's funny because people are like, oh, we're screwed because the next generation doesn't care and they just want to watch Netflix and play YouTube or watch YouTube and play video games and they don't care at all.
Right.
But the ones that will emerge as the ones that are free thinkers, the ones that go against the grain, the ones that think against what society is pushing on them, those will end up being the leaders of our next generation. And those guys are very conservative.
And that's why I like what you're doing. You're doing a very good job. You're very informative. It's hard to misconstrue what you say, which is a good thing. And I love having a different Like, I'm different than most conservatives I see. You're different than most conservatives that I see. Most of them, look like they just left the golf course and they're, 40, 50 years old doing the same spiel.
All fairness, I love golf.
Right. Yeah, I do too. I play too. But you're not dressed like a golfer, and neither am I. But yeah, we need some new voices. And there's a few people that I've been watching. I'm like, yeah, this is different. And that's what we need because it puts a different populist spin on it. It makes it a little bit more of a now culture when people are doing something different. And I think we need more of that in the conservative world instead of just the same looking, talking people saying the same proper things because we're conservatives.
Yeah, I think people ask me, what can we do to encourage the new generation? And the reality is, stop putting the people that we can't relate to as the leaders and get people that we can relate to as the leaders.
People will look at certain people differently and say, whoa, it's not, I don't have to be that to be a conservative. Exactly.
Yeah, I can relate to this guy and I like him on a personal level. I can feel like I can trust him. And he's conservative. I'm going to start taking his ideas a little more seriously, at least consider it and think about it. I like Matt, and he's like this random Asian guy in the corner of Georgia, but I feel like I can relate to him. So maybe all Asians don't have to be liberal.
Yeah, the problem they got into is, why are you trying to convince people who already think like you? That's a marketing mentality to make more money. Let's get more people who think like us to pay us money. But if you're really trying to change society, then you need to convince people who do not think like you. And there's not as much money in that because you're going to get very few. So they market themselves of going after the people that already agree. Same thing with Fox News, all that. CNN goes after the people that agree with them. Fox News goes after the people that agree with them. They're not trying to change minds. They're trying to increase their revenue. And so I've never really cared about that. So I would rather try to persuade people, because that whole perception is reality is not true. That comes from the word perceive. Reality comes from the word real. So they're completely different words. Now, you can have opinions that are based in perception, but when it comes to objective reality, let's say that TV right there, it's flat screen. You know it's flat screen, right? You probably bought it. But if there's 100 people versus one that are at an angle where they perceive it curved, there 100 of people are arguing you that it's curved. You're right beside it. You know it's flat. You don't have to convince 100 people. You have to convince one to scoot forward to change the perception. Once you do that, now there's two people on the side that it's flat, and he was now on their side. So they might go, well, there's some more credibility, and they scoot up and they say, oh, it is flat. He's right. So perception isn't reality. You have to change their perception to the reality.
I feel like that we are talking about flat Earth.
No, I'm not, actually. I just saw a flat screen.
because
So what do you think about flat Earth? Because I saw that video.
I put up just a friend of mine is a pilot, and in a live stream one day, someone said something, just mentioned flat Earth, and I was like, huh, and we just moved on, no big deal. And a friend of mine who's a pilot sent me a picture from 47,000 feet in the air and said, hey, look, you can see the curvature. And I thought it was funny that he went out of his way to take this picture and send it to me. So I put it on my thing and I said, oh, what do you think about flat Earth? And I said, it's flat, it's round, and you can't say the lizard people are watching. It's supposed to be funny.
Right, yeah.
I got flooded with messages that day. I think hundreds. I can't believe you're a flat earther. Like, what the hell?
Right. It doesn't matter. People are going to think what they want to think.
So when I saw all these messages, and I was like, well, did you know that we've actually never seen Earth? It's all perception. And I got people sending me voice messages. I can't believe you're going to side with this. I can't. I'm just asking just the most random question. This was supposed to be fun.
You're antagonizing them.
I had no idea that this was such a triggering topic.
I didn't either until now.
I can't believe this was people's hill to die on. No clue. And hundreds of messages. I'm unfollowing you. This is bullshit.
Wow.
And
That's extreme. I've had people unfollow me for just random nothings.
But for this,
right?
for asking a question, and I was like, "This is crazy." And
so are you going to go on the record? Have you went on the record?
No, I will never answer that question. If I'm scared of any question in my life, apparently that's the one.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
Abortion's easy topic. Flat Earth, woo,
no,
don't go near it.
I had no idea that's the line for people.
Right.
No clue. How am I supposed to know that? It's not something I ever considered seriously.
Right. I never took it seriously.
Yeah,
For
it's
one, I'll go on the record.
Mhm.
I'm not of the flat Earth.
Oh,
I'm not
bro,
of the
that's
flat
not a good one. You can't take that side either.
I know.
This is the one you got to ride that fence. So I came in and I told Will and Peter, they were here, and I was telling them about all this going on in the background, how hundreds of people are messaging me so mad and sending me evidence and sending me videos.
But
and
can't you
sending
just
me
fly in
documents.
one direction, though, and get back
This
around?
is what happens when you talk about it. When you start talking about it, everyone has to interject.
Right.
You can't get away. So I'm telling Will and Peter, and all of a sudden they're at the whiteboard, like doing diagrams. And Will comes, and there's a globe right here. He grabs a globe and he brings it out to prove his point. And I'm like, this is how many people are at home doing the same thing right now, arguing amongst themselves. And I just put that question up there.
There's another one. There's another one you probably don't know about, where people will get upset. There's some people that don't have internal monologues. Have you ever had that conversation with people?
What does that mean?
Like, you can talk to yourself in your head. Are you one of the people that can't?
I don't. What are you talking about?
See, this is going to start something again.
What?
People have I have an internal monologue. I constantly talk to myself through my day. You don't have that? You don't hear your voice in your own head. This is what I'm talking about. What you should do is ask your wife if she does.
What?
Yeah.
Will,
It's a bit. Do you have an internal monologue?
Will, are you? Can you talk to yourself in your mind?
I think I can, but I don't.
But you can. Like, try now.
I can do like voices of like cartoon characters and stuff.
I can think in my head.
But you don't hear a voice, like an audible, like in your head audible.
I don't hear audible.
No.
Like you can't, like,
I
if
can't
you wanted
talk
to
to
talk
myself.
like, if you wanted to talk in your head like Arnold Schwarzenegger, could you hear that kind of in your head?
No.
What?
What?
That's crazy. Okay, can you do visual images? Some people can't do visual images. Can you picture yourself on a beach right now and see it?
Yes.
Okay, some people can't.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's weird. That's one thing where people don't know about other people because they're not in their head.
Mm.
And it'll just be like, you don't hear that? And they're like, no, I don't hear an internal voice. But I don't know if it's most people, it's about half and half have internal monologues where they're constantly talking to themselves. And then some people don't. Like I'm narrating my whole life in my head.
I can speak in my head, but speak outwardly, if that makes sense. So if I'm going to prepare to do a speech or a presentation or something,
Right.
I can present outward in my mind. I can't present or speak inward into my mind.
Can. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can't give my own ideas back to me for my own reflection.
Oh, I argue constantly in my own head.
Really?
Yeah, two different.
Am I the weird
sides.
one or are you the weird one?
I don't know.
Like what's the norm?
Am I too spirited? I think I might be too.
I don't know.
I think I just discovered I'm too spirited. It's real. Yeah.
Now I know what the 2S stands for.
Right.
We figured it out.
Yep. It's if you can have an internal monologue. That's it. No, I can debate with myself. Like I
Really?
can literally take one side of an argument and another side of the argument and try to figure out which one's right.
That must
my
be
own head.
so infuriating.
I don't sleep.
Huh.
Yeah.
You literally can have the angel and devil doing this within your mind.
Yep.
I don't think I can do that.
Some people can't. It's weird.
My thoughts can only project out.
Yeah, my sister's
can't-
the same way. My sister his name's Summer, and she can't do images either, and she also doesn't have an internal monologue. And I'm like, what? Wait, how? And then I talk to other people and I tell them that, and they're like, how do you not have an internal monologue? So they're on my side of it.
Huh.
So it's weird how everybody has a different take on how they think.
Can you look up the numbers on this? See if there's a way to figure out which percentage of people
Is more.
is more. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's considered the norm? Or is it so split? Or do people not even realize that this is a thing?
I don't think a lot of people realize, but there is studies on it. But I don't know which one is more.
I need to know now.
You know, it would have to be like a small study too, because
And is it something you can train?
I don't know. Like I don't know if
I
you
were
can
to
tap into it.
Yeah,
Right.
if I were to now that I'm aware, I had no idea ever in my life that this was a thing.
Mhm.
But now that I'm aware, if I train myself
Can you? Yeah, I don't
Could I?
know. I can't stop talking to myself in my head. I know that.
And if I start training myself, am I opening up the floodgates of just constant bickering in my mind?
Yes, you are.
So maybe don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. You won't sleep. Yeah, there's a lot of people I know that don't have it. I ask a lot of people, and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, how do you not know what I'm talking about?
So internally in your brain, you ask yourself questions.
Mhm.
Huh. I can ask, again, outward questions.
No, I can have a full conversation in my head
Like
and take both sides.
back and forth.
Mhm. And figure out which path would be better for me.
Huh.
Yeah. Like literally break it down logically of two different arguments.
And that helps you to have two sides.
Looks like we're in the minority.
We are in the minority, or the people that can? Most of us inner voice, but you're part of the minority who doesn't.
So you're the minority.
I'm the minority. I'm the
In
weird
two
one.
ways.
I'm the Asian white supremacist that can't
Right.
hear, doesn't have an inner voice.
Yeah. That's crazy. And who wouldn't trust daddy files?
But this says the inner voice narrating the words. I can hear the inner voice narrating the words. I just don't hear a
Inner
voice
speech.
speaking to myself. Even research estimates that at least half of our lives talking to ourselves. I don't talk to myself.
I talk to myself.
I
nonstop.
talk within my mind, but I don't talk to myself.
Is it in your voice?
I don't hear a voice. It's just a thought.
Oh, see, mine's in my voice.
Like if I'm here and I'm thinking about this panel here, I'm
Just thinking about the panel there. Right.
in my mind, I can say, "There's a black panel." In my mind,
But
I'm
there's
not going
There's no like
like I'm not,
internal audible.
yeah. I'm not going. Do you like that panel? In my mind, you know, like
I can do that.
I can't do it. I
Yeah, I
train.
can do that. I can.
I'm
I
gonna
can do
train.
it.
I'm gonna train. I don't know how
crazy.
to train, but I'm gonna do it.
It's weird that there's different ways of thinking. It's strange to me.
And to expect people to think all the same,
Right, when
our
people don't
brains
even
are
know that.
wired
Right.
completely differently. Like we don't even understand how the brain works, but yet we expect people to understand and think and agree on everything. It doesn't make sense. You got to at least figure out how it works before we agree what is right.
People forgot what the word elementary means. You have to have a base and a foundation before you can go anywhere else. And you can't just make up things and be an expert at it. That's not how it works. You have to actually learn and have a foundation. Otherwise, everything crumbles. So we've forgotten elementary. That's the main thing. You forgot the basis of learning, and then you can branch out. But if you just branch out with nothing underneath, it crumbles.
I am totally trying to think in my head, ask myself questions, and listen to you at the same time.
I've ruined it.
And it is very frustrating in my mind.
No, I can think of my answer way before you're done talking. I'm like, what can I say here? What's a good choice here? Should I say that? Should I say no? That's going on in my head.
I think I am just so reactionary of a person.
Yeah.
And my mind is just wired in a way where I think while I talk. So when I do talk, and maybe that's sometimes why.
Are you artistic at all?
No.
Okay. I think a lot of it has to do with an artistic ability somewhat.
I am naturally extremely
Put up some
logical.
FAQs.
Many people use an internal language based monologue to organize and focus their thoughts, but not everyone. Instead, some people rely more on visualization to process their thoughts. I don't do that either, though.
Me neither.
Is inner monologue a sign of intelligence? Inner monologue associated more with personality than intelligence. If someone has
would say
more
the same,
developed verbal skills, they're more likely to have a wordier inner voice than someone with less language development. Level of confidence is not a good indication of whether a person has an That doesn't. It didn't explain it to me.
No.
I just still don't get it.
I heard it, but it didn't really explain it to me.
I think it's because we don't have it. We don't understand it.
I think more engineers probably, like the engineering tinkering type, probably don't have the inner, because they're hands-on, more so than the artistic side who has to see to do. You know what I mean?
If you're watching or listening to this podcast
Right.
and you have an opinion, not an opinion, if you can hear or not hear your own inner voice, if you can converse with yourself,
Ooh, that's a good, yeah.
let's leave a comment. I want to see how many people actually do one or the other.
Because we can do our own survey. We can do our own science right here.
This is science.
Yeah.
This is exactly how the polls work.
Mm-hmm.
You just ask a bunch of people around your network, and you're like, huh, DeSantis
Because
winning by
this
30%.
isn't political. This isn't political. So there cannot be a political bias towards one or the other. This is just whether or not people can.
This is more accurate than an actual poll.
Mm-hmm. Right. It is. Yeah.
Because we're not choosing who responds. We're just opening it up for people to respond.
Yeah. So just write if you can hear and talk to yourself in your internal voice, which is you, or if you can't.
Well, again, that splits up to
It's so difficult
can you
to
talk
work.
to yourself versus can you speak out? I can speak out. I can't talk to myself.
Oh, that's weird.
That's so weird.
That's weird.
I can't be like, Matt, get off your ass. I can't do it internally.
Really?
Mm.
That's crazy to me.
I can say, I'm going to get off my ass
And then do it.
and do it.
Right.
But I can't be like, you should. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I can. I can do it now. See?
You hold on.
That's proof.
That's proof.
Hold on.
That's why we need that
I just did it too.
Neuralink. Yeah. I can do it. Trust me. No, we need that Neuralink.
Neuralink is scary.
Yeah, it is.
Elon
I'm not fully
worries me.
against it.
Elon worries me.
He worries me. I'm not totally against it, but I do see the negative side effects with anything.
I feel like he is accumulating so much power in so many industries.
Mhm.
And maybe his intentions are pure. I get it. Every single dystopian movie we've ever seen in our lives
Starts a certain way. Yeah.
starts with a guy with good intentions
Mhm.
that just builds up too much power. And it's just one catalyst moment where he's like, damn it, they hurt my pride.
Right.
And it starts.
Yep. He Thanoses.
Exactly.
Mhm.
They were all good guys in the beginning. Is that what's going to happen to him? That's my biggest concern.
My only
We're giving
with
him space. We're giving our minds. We're giving our technology. We're giving our data. We're giving our language. We're giving him everything.
It depends on what it's used for. If it can correct brain damage, and you're telling someone who had a kid in a car wreck and it's altered their mind, and you're telling me that can go in and solve that issue, there's not a mother in the world that wouldn't take that. They'd say, I want my kid back. I don't care what the cost is. So there's that side of it where there's no way in the world that anyone who has a kid that could bring back to normal wouldn't do it, no matter the cost, because it doesn't matter. It's my kid, you know. But then there's the side of it. How far can it go, the negative route? Because if bad people get a hold of it through patents, whatever, then it can go south pretty quick. And how bad can it destroy a mind? It was perfectly healthy. So there's both sides of the argument. And I don't know what it can do or what it can't do, but I've heard it's being developed for correctional problems, right?
Isn't everything always developed for a good cause?
Yep.
Before it gets spun out to something else?
Maybe not COVID, but I'm sorry.
Demonetized.
I was just kidding. It was a joke.
No,
That's
we
my-
don't care.
that's
We don't.
my
We
opinion.
run 0 ads.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so we don't have to worry about it. We do it intentionally because I feel like if we run ads, we have to be more careful on what
Yeah,
we say.
I don't care about that.
If we run 0 ads, then the advertisers don't complain. So since advertisers don't complain, then they give you a little more leeway.
I
That's
just
my
created, I
theory.
just created a video where I wanted to say I didn't want to get fact checked. So every word I put, in my opinion,
Oh, I saw that.
it's the only way you can get away with it.
Yeah.
But you have to be very clear that this is my opinion. And the comments were so great. Also my opinion. Also my opinion. Also my opinion. Like that's literally every comment.
Yeah.
You have to figure out ways around it.
I like using the word allegedly.
Allegedly.
I put that I use that one a lot.
That's a leftist word. You stole that from the left.
I don't care.
Right.
It works. So I use that one a lot, allegedly. But I'm going to use that one too. In my opinion.
Right. You have to be clear. In my personal opinion, you know.
Yeah. So we have a couple clips
Ooh.
that we put. Hey, can we pull up the one that comes to my mind? It's the funniest one. It's the KKK one.
I love that.
Can we watch that one real quick? Because even this thumbnail.
I know,
is
I
so
love it.
bad. If you guys,
I love it.
if you guys are not watching from home.
It's not
this
even bad.
thumbnail-
It's not even
The most
bad.
dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy.
Now that we have gathered here To burn this cross, I have one thing to say. You're all under arrest. I am Special Agent Smith of the FBI. I've been undercover for years. You are all under arrest. Donnie? It's me, Mike. I work down the hall from you. I'm FBI. I've been... Wait, Mike? Donnie? It's me, Terrence, from Division 4.
That's always crooked.
Agent Russell. Wait, you're telling me that we're just a bunch of FBI agents? There's no KKK? I guess so. You want to get some food? Yeah, I'll go. I'm gonna have to change.
Most dangerous terrorist threat to
It's just so obvious. I mean, it's like they're infiltrating everything that we do. So
You got me falling off my chair. When I saw that one, I was like, number one, it's so funny.
the worst
Number
thing is
two-
I had to make the outfit. That's the way I'm grabbing scissors and pillowcases.
Just the idea of you sitting, I'm just picturing you sitting at your table at home going, I need to make KKK hoods.
Right. I need to write this. Yeah, I know.
And if someone walked in at the wrong time, they'd be like, huh.
Right.
What's
What
going
is
on
he doing?
here?
What is he doing?
What made you even think? Because that's out there.
It is.
There's a lot of people that would be too, and obviously it's a joke. There's humor to it.
It doesn't even really say anything. It's more a shot at the FBI.
Correct.
Than it is anybody. It's not a shot at anybody other than the FBI.
And some people will see and be like, oh, I can't believe you're making fun of racism. It's not about racism. You got to understand the joke.
Right. It's not. It's
But-
about that I couldn't do January 6th. Obviously, I can't do that. And I can't do anything current. So I have to do something like Joe Biden said, white supremacy is the
Yeah.
biggest threat.
Yeah.
As he's the president, which I guess maybe it is true. If he's the president and he's white,
And we're scared of him
he could be the biggest threat. So technically, he could be telling the truth.
projecting.
Right.
But even the thumbnail
I know,
and the
it's-
clip, it's so hilarious. And it's risque, right?
is.
It's not something a lot of people would even attempt to do.
Right.
It's something that I
have
can
a-
see like Dave Chappelle do.
There's another one. If you scroll down, there's another one. Keep going. A skit that I really like. It's the airplane one. Where is the airplane one? Right there. Yeah. I really like this one too, this skit. It
Let's
was
watch
right
this
when
one.
the affirmative action got dropped. or
Okay,
whatever.
okay.
Yeah.
Airlines, we will be taking off soon. If you could just make sure your tray tables are put away and your seats are in the upright position. Today's movie is going to be Soul Plane, starring Snoop D-O-double-G. Oh, this is going to be good. I love Soul Plane, right? Okay. Excuse me once again. Affirmative Action Airlines, we have a bit of an emergency. Is there anyone here with flight experience? Excuse me? Yes, sir. I can fly. I have about 1,000 flight hours under my belt. That's good and all, and I appreciate the offer, but is there anyone else with flight experience? Our pilot is dead and we're in a tailspin. Excuse me, what? Hold on, 1 second. I'm looking for people with flight experience. Dark fella in the back. No, none. Have you seen Top Gun? So nothing. No one? We sure? Listen, we don't have time. I used to be a pilot. Okay, sir, let's just have a quick discussion. Any African American heritage? No. You could have just lied to me. Say you're light skinned. That's not enough representation. Representation? I represent a pilot, a skilled pilot. Well, it looks like we're just gonna have to crash. Anyone like to say a prayer for our last moments? I'm an ordained minister. You gotta be kidding me. Welcome to Affirmative Action Airlines.
You have to make fun of it. You can't, like, so it's just, I like to write these skits and be like, what can I do to make fun of this
Yeah.
stupidity?
When you come up with this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like what is going through your mind? Like obviously you are talking to yourself
Mm-hmm.
into, hey, make this is too much. This is kind of crazy. This is out there. Like what is that process like to even put this together?
So it's really cool of a process because most of the time I'm just almost asleep and it'll just pop in my head. I'm like, that's a good idea.
And I don't write things out. I just ad lib pretty much the whole time. And I'll do one scene just like that. And I'll just do one side of it in every take of one side and know what the other person's saying with my internal monologue.
Okay, I can see how that works now.
And then I'll be like, oh, that's funny. That's funny. That's funny. And then I'll just do the other scene. And I'll watch the video of the first one. And I'll say, okay, so that's my response. And so, and I just have these weird writing things where I'm like, this will be a funny take, because I have to make fun of it more than take it serious sometimes. There's some things I do take seriously, but some of this stuff is just a joke.
That's so funny. Just the idea of, again, coming up with this idea, these processes, and putting it out there. What made you decide that I want to do comedic sketches as well? Because you were doing more talking stuff, again, music prior. How do you go from that to, I'm going to do sketch comedy?
I like writing. Writing has been my forte, like even with music. Like I could have been an artist. Like I've got asked to be an artist a lot. I didn't even want to do this. It's just I felt like there was a need for it. I'm a hermit, honestly, but I love writing and coming up with ideas. That's been my thing my whole life. It's just coming up with new concepts, new ideas. I did graphic design too, so I like to come up with I will create a business that doesn't exist just so I can create the logo for the business. And I just love to create and write songs and
we need a new
do
logo.
Skits. I'm pretty good at it.
I made this on like Paint or something.
Yeah.
It looks
Sometimes
like
that works though. Sometimes it's just enough.
Could use one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know where it came from. I don't remember.
But yeah, it's really honestly about the creative writing process. I enjoy it so much.
Have you ever considered doing like stand-up?
I've considered it. I love to write jokes. I don't know if I would like to perform jokes. I've never been much of the performer. I just don't like the limelight. I've never really enjoyed it. I'm sincerely a hermit. I don't go out. Like there's not a bar you will find me at. There's not like a party you will see me at. I'm a homebody like all the time.
I think it's people who are like that, who are very self-reflective, constantly talking in their minds, that excel in those types of situations.
Yep.
I think if you were to, because there's a guy I watch a lot on YouTube that talks about public speaking. And he talks about how he was really awkward and didn't understand, but he knew that he wanted to be a better speaker. So in order to break out of the shell, he started doing improv comedy.
Really?
Because if you have to stand up in a small crowd, because it's a class, if you go in front of a small crowd and you have to try to be funny and it's the most awkward thing ever. And that will prepare you for the biggest stage of your life, because speaking prepared remarks seems easy compared to standing up and winging it in front of a group of people all judging you. And he encourages people to do that. It's something I've thought about doing, just to put myself in a really uncomfortable situation that's so awkward. I want to bomb. I want to fail. I want to feel what that feels like.
I've never had the nervousness though. I don't get nervous. I've never had that feeling of nervousness. You can put me in front of a bazillion people and I won't even have a butterfly. I don't have that feeling. I wish I knew what it felt like, but I've never understood it. Just how you don't understand my inner monologue. I don't understand the nervousness of speaking. I haven't.
It's because you have someone in your mind to say, it's going to be okay.
Maybe, yeah, it's me. Yeah, it's called schizophrenia.
Yeah. Like, don't worry, everything's gonna be fine. We can relax. You're like, yes, we can relax.
Yeah, I've played music for a lot of people, and I've done stuff solo too, where I've opened up for 25,000 people, staring at you, and you have to get up there and sing for the first time, and nothing. I don't have a butterfly. Don't have any kind of jitters. Just
really
do it. Yeah, it's weird.
What is that?
It's harder, probably one-on-one. Honestly, family, maybe in front of family, is harder than in front of millions of people. Like if you did something like if I said I have to play at my dad's church or something in front of my family, that would make me more nervous than 25,000 people.
If you were to drop me in a room with most powerful people in the world, most famous people in the world, and I was in a small setting with just a couple of people, I don't care who it is, you're not going to get me nervous. I'm going to feel very comfortable in that setting. I can have that conversation. I can say what I want whatever it is. I do very well in those types of settings. If you put me in front of 100,000 people, which is crazy that many people watch us,
Right.
but if you put me in 100,000 people, live people, I'd be like,
Right.
I'd be really nervous. Some people excel in that. Some people enjoy that. Some people don't even feel it.
I don't enjoy it.
My heart would just go.
Yeah, I don't get that. I do probably more in a private setting I would than a big public setting. Yeah.
That's funny how that works too, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Like how the mind just reacts to external situations, and you kind of makes who you are.
Right.
But
do you have the feeling of like do you ever have the shock of like stardom, like when you see a star that you don't have that? I don't either.
Not at all.
There's not anybody I could think of to where I would be like, ooh.
I did tell the story yesterday, but I'll tell it real quick. I got reached out to by or I had an opportunity to speak to Tucker Carlson's team. And to me, he's a big part of why I do what I do. I think you can see the styles are kind of similar.
He's also a good guy.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of him, and watching him evolve over time helped me understand that I can evolve and question the world around me more.
Yep.
So a lot of kudos to him. Huge fan. And I had an opportunity to speak to his team, and they said, actually, Tucker sent me your podcast and said, we should watch out for this guy. So he's the one that sent it to you, and I freaked out.
Yep.
In messages, I said, "What the fuck?" And I threw a bunch of like exclamation points and question marks. And I started blabbering like, I'm like, oh, like be cool, don't lose your cool. And I just fanboyed and geeked out.
Right.
It doesn't happen often.
Like I got followed by Michael Knowles, and that made me happy.
Yeah,
because I'm a Michael Knowles fan. I think he's very intelligent. I think his history knowledge is very like he knows his stuff when it comes to history. So I'm a big fan of Michael Knowles, and when he followed me and shared my stuff, I'm like, yeah, that's got cool.
Yeah.
So.
Feels good to just know you're doing the right thing and to get recognition from the people that you respect, look up to, and even model.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool.
It's crazy too, because you can see people who follow you, and I can see people who follow me. You see the blue check mark, and there'd be people you don't think are conservative. And like I don't know if you have like celebrities that are outside of politics follow you, but I do on some occasions, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I was a fan of them, and now they're a fan of me, so that's kind of cool.
I've had people that are kind of big celebrities message me on the side. I want to know that I love what you're doing and I support you. Well, understand I can't follow you with my main account. I've seen that too.
And
I
hate that.
And I always respond, imagine what you could do for the world if you were able to say that out loud. Not going to push you. I'm not here to blow up any spot. But that's how we got into the situation we are today.
People kept their mouth shut.
People that have real influence, people who have the opportunity to change the narrative, to help the normal people fight back. Everyone stayed silent.
Yep.
Not telling you how to live your life, but if you have the conviction, I encourage you to speak out.
And that's what we were talking about earlier. We don't like agendas on either side. We don't like that. We don't like pushing an agenda either way. We like genuine. We really do. Even if you, like we were saying earlier, even if you agree with the agenda, obviously somebody's going to agree with the agenda on either side. It doesn't make it good. So it's really just about being genuine in what your beliefs, because if you get away with that, we're not America anymore. We're not. It's just other voices in your head instead of my own voice in my head. So
if we can do a quick pivot, I found your YouTube channel.
No.
From I think it was 8 years ago. And it was
I thought I got rid of all of that.
And yeah, I Googled, I put in YouTube Sky Corban. Because I just want to know who I'm going to sit down with. And sometimes you find funny stuff or interesting stuff. And I found you singing with your guitar. And I had no idea from your regular Instagram that you were a songwriter.
Right.
You are extremely talented.
Thank you.
And I was like, wow. So I was originally going to surprise you and ask you to sing a song because we have a guitar in the corner. And then Will and Mike were like, I feel like you should give him a heads up.
Right.
Like, all right, you're right. It's better than just springing on someone. So I messaged you and you said, oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to write a song.
Yeah, I'll just write one.
And then And like 2 hours later, and sorry, it took a while to respond. I was with my kids. 2 hours later, you're like, this is the song I'm going to write. I was like,
I finished it.
already?
Yeah.
That was fast.
Yeah, I finished it, and I really like the song. It's actually pretty decent. I've polished it up since then. But yeah.
So would you honor us
Yeah.
by performing or singing the very first song of our podcast, very first song in this studio, and the first time we've ever attempted this before?
Yeah,
If you would, I'd be honored.
of course. It's specifically for this podcast. Never been played anywhere else.
So excited. Let's figure out how to set this up.
Yep, let's do it.
All right. For the very first time
Yeah.
on the Matt Kim podcast, Sky Corban will grace us with In God We Trust.
Yep. I'm nervous. Just kidding. Those spacious skies don't seem so beautiful anymore. Those amber waves of grain, will they ever be the same? In old glory, there ain't no glory in a civil war. It's hard to be at blame when you're playing someone else's game. The flag don't fly as high as it used to. But there is only one thing we can do. In God we trust, a simple plea. Whether you believe, God shed His grace on thee. From sea to sea, we are in need. We're losing liberty. So shed your grace on thee. In God we trust. In God we trust. Those spacious skies are filling up with chemicals. Those amber waves of grain just being bought up by that rich man. And oh, glory is now nothing but a metaphor, getting harder to maintain while just a pawn in someone else's game. The flag don't fly as high as it used to. But there is only one thing we can do. In God we trust, a simple plea. Whether you believe, God shed His grace on thee. From sea to sea, we are in need, losing liberty. God shed your grace on thee. In God we trust. In God we trust. The flag don't fly as high as it used to. In God we trust, a simple plea. Whether you believe, God shed His grace on thee. From sea to sea, we are in need. We're losing liberty. So shed your grace on thee. In God we trust, a simple plea. Whether you believe, God believes in you and me. In that we trust. That's it. Yep. Trying so hard to remember those lyrics. Slowed me down.
Wow.
Yeah.
You, number one, you are so talented.
Thank you.
That was amazing. And we'll talk about what I think I can maybe help later.
Okay.
There was a lot in that song.
Yeah.
Are we framed in? Can we keep on going like this or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can hear. I'm good. Yeah.
There was a lot in that song.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about the flag flying lower than it used to.
Yeah.
I love that phrase.
Me too.
Talk about the chemicals in the airs.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of a.
Because you got the spacious skies, man. That's what we were, and it's the America the Beautiful, and it's
What were
not
you?
the same.
What were you thinking when you wrote this song?
Well, I was thinking, what's different? What is different than everybody used to be so patriotic? I mean, if you listen to the words of America the Beautiful, it's one. I think it should be our anthem. I think it's one of the most beautiful songs ever written. And your basis of our country is the basis of a moral good of God. That's the basis. Whether you believe or not, that's what the country is based upon. So, and even if you don't believe right now, what we need is some grace, because it's been so destructive lately, and the destroying of God, whether or not you believe. So you can see that side of it, even if you're on the outside looking in from a perspective that doesn't believe in God. You can see people who don't believe in God trying to destroy a God they don't believe in. So it just seems like if we need anything, now would be the time.
Sky Corban, I appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for being on the pod. Thank you so much for gracing us with your beautiful song.
Thank you.
And I think we're going to have you back on.
Anytime.
I think we definitely need to do a part 2 on this. And maybe as we close out, instead of doing our jingle, maybe you can close us out.
Yeah, what am I closing out with?
Whatever you want.
Oh, Lord. Let's see. Let's see. I don't know if I have anything prepared. Let's do... I got this song. I'm not going to let them take the rainbow. That has nothing to do with the song. The song's called Rainbow. It's about being in I don't have to do the whole song, but it's really about being in a situation that's just so dreadfully stormy. You need to know that storm in your life is over. So you need a rainbow in your moment to show that it's over. And so that's what this is. This ugly rainy day reminds me of when we gave up, when those clouds rolled in. I'm praying this storm could wash away all these memories from our yesterday. So send me a rainbow. Yes, I need a rainbow. Please send me a rainbow through the storm. And now there's a flash flood warning from these tears that I've cried. I need to take some shelter before that silver line. I need someone to rescue me, 'cause I'm all alone, drowned in this heartbreak sea. So send me a rainbow. Yes, I need a rainbow. Please send me a rainbow through the storm. I need a rainbow. Please send me a rainbow. Yes, I need a rainbow through this storm. And when the water recedes, I'll be alright. 'Cause in sight, I see a rainbow. He sent me a rainbow. Yes, I got a rainbow through the storm. I got a rainbow. He sent me a rainbow. Yes, I got a rainbow through the storm.
Thank you, everybody. See you next week.
Heck yeah.
Bro, you are amazing.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
That was awesome.
Wow.
Man. Little hoarse from no sleep,
No,
but
and
I'm
it's
alright.
amazing how you did it without like headset on.
Oh yeah, I don't need that. Yeah.
How do you stay on pitch?
Because he has his internal voice telling him, gotta stay on key.
The best again, my voice is pretty hoarse, but a little weak in some spots, but it's all right.
No, that was amazing, man.
You are phenomenal. Wow. You're so talented. You are.